Cheers.
Okay, we're recording. So Susan has just been sitting through 5 or 6 minutes of John Leo's personal issues. Wait, Shauna's coming. And well, I thought Shauna's coming. I don't know. Oh, there she is. Hey, Shauna. So as I was saying, good thing you didn't sit through this. So we were trying to coach John Leo out of his irresponsible parenting decisions.
All input is welcome. Thank you.
This is how we treat all of our guests here. So I want to thank you, Susan Poage, for joining us. Woo! You probably made the worst decision of your political career.
I'm not
but you know what?
You know that.
But here you are.
Yeah.
But here you are anyway.
Yeah.
So the way this is going to go down is we're going to just go round table and just kind of throw something at you, and you just kind of say whatever you want to say about it. There's no agenda here.
Okay.
There's nothing like that. Is there anything you want to start off with? Do you want to comment on how awesome I am? How Leo shouldn't be on the show? Anything?
I think it's great that you're getting people engaged in the process. So
yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
I hope so.
For years, I didn't know what was going on and didn't know anything about anything. I just paid my taxes and showed up at baseball games, and I just didn't really know what was going on. So it's really good to know what's going on. It's important.
What's your favorite sports season? Baseball? Baseball? You like baseball?
Hockey?
What's your favorite team?
The New York Islanders, baby.
Oh my God.
I'm from Long Island.
Are you
like
from
the Islanders?
I am.
Do you go to Long Island? That's like a terrible drive.
Yes, my whole family still lives across the bridges.
Oh
so yeah, it's hard. I was just at my 40th reunion, although it was 42 years. And it was really fun to be on Long Island. And if you live, work, and play there, it's wonderful. If you have to get off or get on, it's hard.
The last time I was in Long Island, I was stuck in traffic for 2 hours, sneezed so hard that I blew a hole through my throat and my lung collapsed.
What? Well, I'm just going to give you a little tidbit.
That's what happened.
You're not in Long Island. You're on
Long Island.
Crying out loud, like you're down the shore.
Well, we never.
Does anyone care about my collapsed lung?
No, it's weird. This isn't a medical show, John.
John Leo's talking about his parenting issues.
That was
pre-recording. That's not medical. Look, are we pre-law or pre-med?
Both.
We're premature.
Tip the hat to Animal House right there. What's the
difference?
All right.
All right. Let's respect Susan's time here, guys. Stop talking so much.
She needs to respect our time.
All right. So I'm gonna start with mine, and then we'll go Laura, Todd, John, Shauna. Is that cool? All right. You got the 15-minute timer, Laura?
Hell yeah, I do.
Oh God.
Man, I hope this works. All right, Susan.
Our viewership is totally going down back like up to
Guys,
9.
come on, let's get serious. All right, come on. No one's gonna take us seriously if all we do is laugh and fuck around. Okay? Let's get serious. One thing you did your last term, Susan, that you will be more careful about or avoid this term.
One thing I did last term. So that doesn't include when I was that including when I was running for office?
Yeah, it's not like this isn't the SATs.
Yeah. Looking back, it's funny because I'm 60 years old now and I can't really remember yesterday. And now you're asking me to remember, last term. I was pretty proud of some of my independent votes. So that's not, that's how I continue to do it. One thing I would say is the vote on whatever the committee was called, because I know it's changed, the Truth and Racial Healing. I didn't fully listen to some of the residents because I was, I didn't want to wait anymore because I was just thinking about, Martin Luther King Jr. And he's like, wait, I waited 300 years. What are we waiting for? So I think we should have tabled it for another couple of weeks, but not a long table. So that's one thing I could say.
Wow, Berkeley Heights government official actually thinking they might have made a different decision. That's amazing. Laura, you're next.
I guess my question would be, like, what is your vision for this community? Because obviously, council, board of ed, that we see a lot of similarities as far as the meetings becoming contentious. Mm-hmm. My takeaway is that there are people that want to be involved. So what would your recommendation be to the community members, who run the full spectrum of maybe who don't want to speak at a meeting to people who are just, angry parents or whatever you want to call us? What would be your recommendation for their approach to, having a voice?
Right. So I really think that civil discourse, I think we've gotten away from it a little bit. I think that the national environment has kind of filtered down into our local, we have to really remember we are friends and neighbors and colleagues. I mean, I go literally weeks without leaving Berkeley Heights. John, Leo, you live around the corner from me, and
Drive by my house way too much.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry, Susan.
Yeah,
It's a problem.
I think we've lost that ability to have conversations that maybe are difficult and come with different perspectives, but respect each other's perspectives. And you can learn a lot about other people by listening more. And I think we're not doing enough listening. We're doing a lot of talking, but we're not doing a lot of listening.
Good. Are you done, Laura?
Yeah.
Good.
Good
Todd.
job. Thank you.
So, Ms. Book, a couple of weeks ago, there was a very interesting moment where there was a very outspoken community in regards to the business administrator. And many people call that a turning point. Many people call that a kind of a moment of reflection. But how do you classify that moment to, let's say, the new residents here in town? People who, might have been here only a year, maybe 2 years, that saw all what was going on the forum and other various outlets, but yet weren't really engaged as maybe others were. And how would you speak to them about that situation and assure them that, where we are now after following that? And then furthermore, where do you see things going forward after that?
So it's funny. My dad used to say to me, sometimes things have to get really bad before they can start to improve. And I think that reorg meeting, 2018 was a bad one too. It was a really hard meeting, and I never thought it could get as bad as that one. It was rock bottom. And I think that people came up and spoke who would never speak in public, and who said, I'm watching you now, and that's good. That engagement is good. So I think we hit like a kind of a rock bottom, I hope, with how council is treating residents and how people aren't thinking about the bigger picture of Berkeley Heights, but they're coming in with their own agenda. And I'm hoping that maybe those people maybe realize that we have to think about Berkeley Heights. My job is to think about Berkeley Heights, not about my own agenda. So, I'm hoping we hit rock bottom and that things can start to improve. And I would say to any resident, even if you're not comfortable speaking up at a meeting, write a letter. It can be read at a meeting. It's not as powerful as speaking yourself, but if you're not comfortable, let your letter be read. And my other thing is, the forums are tricky. People feel very comfortable to say things behind the safety of a keyboard. And I think that can be hard sometimes.
Yep. John?
All right. Susan, everybody on my street wants to know, how many drains do you have in the adopted drain program?
So I had 10, but someone complained that I had too many.
We can't compete with this.
I unadopted some, and now I have 4.
Was there a lot of paperwork in unadopting them?
No, you just click off. You're unadopted.
Hey, we're competing with Westfield now, aren't we? We're going to start up a competition program. Have you heard about that?
I heard that. Yeah. It's funny because once you see a clogged drain full of leaves, you can't unsee it. I run in town, and I'm like,
nightmares.
That one, that one's stuffed up, and that one's stuffed up, and it's hard to unsee it. And I just wish people. I think part of it is educating people. I don't think they realize how easy it is to take care of the drain in front of your house.
It's a fun thing to do with the kids.
Yeah.
Hey, I love the master plan. I talk about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I sleep with a copy of it. Can you brief us on what ADUs were? And a little bit of background on what that was, because I remember we talked about it, and you brought me up to speed on a little bit about it. It was an interesting discussion. Can you tell everybody about that?
Sure can. So if you don't know, an ADU is an accessory dwelling unit. And I wanted to put in the master plan that we would allow accessory dwelling units. I had a lot of research of why it's important. As seniors want to age in place, they can't afford their taxes, but maybe their family takes over the house and they have a little, ADU for granny. It's like, for granny part. Also, as we know, kids are coming out of college in this area. It's very hard to afford housing. So it could also be good for the family and then the younger kids. So one thing I was upset about was some of the coded language that came out during the discussion of ADUs. It ruins the small town feel, and that's all coded language, and it's redlining. So I was unhappy that it didn't end up in the master plan. I lost on a vote 2-1. So there were only 3 of us at the meeting, and I lost that one. So just because it's not in the master plan now doesn't mean we can't revisit it. The master plan is not concrete. It's not, 2 tablets of stone. It can be revisited. So I would like to see that as something that kind of comes back.
Cool. Thanks, Susan. That was good.
That was 2 questions, John, by the way.
Put your hand
I'll
down,
be
John.
quiet next if I can.
Yeah,
I'll be
he's
quiet.
trolling me with his hand raising. He's
Unraise
doing it
your
because he
hand.
annoys me. It's so annoying. Stop! It's annoying, yo.
All right, I'm out.
God, Shauna, sorry.
Yeah, is my microphone off again, or is it good?
No, you're good.
You're good.
Okay. Yeah, all kinds of issues today. Do you have a pet project that you want to see happen while you're in office this time?
So, I'm always thinking about Littell Lord and trying to get the funding that we need. We need matching dollars to write any grants anymore. I think we're up to almost $200,000 in grant money for that project. I chunked it out because I looked at it. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so overwhelming. So I chunked it into 6 stages, and we're through stage 1 now, which is great. We're on to stage 2. The ultimate vision for this project is you turn that space into a venue space, and we make a little revenue on that space, because it's a beautiful, you've been there, property. Amazing.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
does anybody store vegetables in the root cellar there that they grow in the community garden?
In the root cellar?
That root cellar fascinates me, just so you know.
Yeah. Not yet. And the
I
community
didn't know
garden,
about that.
I'm really happy about the success of the community garden. And then if you don't know, some of the Girl Scouts did a honeybee garden over there as well, a bee garden. So, it's just a beautiful space. And I think it really can be a destination for people to come to our town. So I'm working on that. And then I'm also now on used to be called the Truth and Racial Hearing. But again, I think that, I can't even remember the name. I would like to get the name changed, just Social Justice Committee. I mean, keep it simple. So I'm working on, I just wrote the flyer for the flag raising. So I'm getting involved in that committee as well. I miss being on planning board. So, John Leo, I'm jealous that you're on planning board because I do miss that committee. And my other committee, I'm on grants, but I'm not the council rep, but I'm still doing grants. So.
All right, so that's back to me. So I guess the question I have, and this is going to sound odd, but does a downtown even make sense for us? Everybody wants a downtown, but when I think of Berkeley Heights, I almost feel like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm glad you said that because we will never be a Westfield. We will never even be a New Providence because we're just the way the zoning was and how it changed piecemeal. It'll never look like that. But so I think about it with the hubs. That's a big thing for me. So Connell will be a hub. Springfield East will be a hub. Springfield West will be a hub. And we can have different hubs. And Shauna, here's one dream of mine, to get, we have a place at LBI and there's a shuttle that just runs constantly from one end to the other. And I would love to see if that can become a thing here where we run, transportation. So in case people want to be up at Connell and having some cocktails up there, and then they want to head downtown to Lupa, they can get there safely. And so I like to look into that.
It sounds like bar hopping. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, in Nashville, they have the ones with the pedals. I don't know if we want to get that, but if you're having cocktails, I'm not sure.
Maybe just a trail.
Well,
would be really
thank
cool.
you.
Mhm.
Trail. Biking, walking trail. Anybody?
Yes.
Wait, Susan, can I ask you how a Wawa fits into that wonderful picture of a hub?
You have to go there.
My opinion, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I mean, I saw that where everybody else saw it. And I pass that place every day on my way to school. And every time I've been looking at it the last week, I was like, I don't know. But so people, I think if they are opposed to it, would need to, get out there. And I said that not as a council person, as a resident.
Oh yeah, I should make that really clear that Susan's here, not in official capacity.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm here answering council questions, but that comment was as a resident of Berkeley Heights. I look at that space and say that's, I don't know. I don't-
Susan, can you like?
Can Laura have a question? Laura, it's Laura's
Oh,
turn.
sorry. Is your
Wait,
hand up? I didn't see your hand up.
I
It's
don't
supposed to go in
use
order.
the emoji icons, John.
Or it's a little hand on the bottom.
No, actually, I don't have a question. Please
Oh.
stop.
God damn it,
I feel like
Laura,
I'm with my
defending
children.
you, and then you throw me under the bus. Go ahead, John. Go ahead with your stupid question.
It's a follow-up question only.
Follow up to the
As-
ADU.
No, as a council member, can you have an opinion on an application, or do you have to? or you have to
So when I took my
you don't
class-
vote on them, right?
It depends. It might get to that. I'm not sure where it's going next. But when I went to, I call it planning board school, but it was like, the class.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
if you're not on planning board, but only on town council, can you
Mhm.
render opinions and talk about the app? You can, I think, right? Like we can.
Oh yeah, no, I can.
Yeah,
can.
okay.
It's a little
I-
before
it's-
it's done because, it just got through the first committee, which is the technical review committee, and it didn't get through that point yet. So
Yeah, I was just curious about the process is always ongoing.
and
It's
it's going to the
interesting.
zoning board. It's not coming to planning board. It's going to zoning board.
Yep.
All right, so I don't know whose turn it is. So, Sean, I think Laura, you don't have a question. Sean, do you have one?
I can probably.
I have a question.
Okay, you go.
When is Berkeley Heights going to declassify its evidence of alien life?
I'm going to say
Susan,
28,
don't lie to us, Susan.
2028 maybe. I don't know.
Stop with the
Right
emojis,
there.
John. I swear to God, if this shows up on the actual video, Laura,
That was just it.
but I don't hear it.
I did not hear it.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It didn't work. We were going to do the Charlie Brown theme song that,
Mm.
whatever. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Susan, I'm so sorry you wasted your time.
No, I was happy to be here. I hope I answered some of your questions, and maybe other people realize it's not. You guys aren't so scary.
Is that what they're saying out there?
Are
No,
they
I don't
saying
know
we're
what they're
scary?
saying, but
No, we're just angry. We're just
Yeah, yeah.
angry parents.
We're angry.
you asked some very good questions. You treated me with the utmost respect, so I thank you. And
We're also very good looking.
We
yes,
are.
a very looking crew, and I know everyone except for Shauna. I think we met once on voting election day, but so it's nice to have a conversation. So thank you for having. My family's waiting for lasagna. My oven
Ooh, mine too.
works. Yay!
My family's starving tonight, so thank you. Thank you for telling me. We're coming over.
Clemente's pizza. Yay!
Okay.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Later, Susan.
Susan.
Thanks.
Thank
Later,
you.
guys.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Later, Todd.